Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Grace Game Day. I'm Preston Proctor. With me is Josh McElhaney, and we're bringing you some Grace Cougars baseball action as the Cougars are taking on Grace Prep from Arlington. Slade Etheridge on the mound for the Cougars tonight. And his first pitch is a strike right down the middle.
I think it had some heat on it.
Yes, it did. Ground ball up the middle, a base hit. So the no-hitter is gone.
I just wanted to get it out of the way, so
Just so you can concentrate on the game itself.
Now you can focus.
That was Banks Harris with the leadoff base hit. That's going to bring Jackson Bryson, the center fielder, to the plate. Quick throw back over, and he almost caught Harris sleeping. Strike call on the inside corner. Took a little something off and just went into a quick motion slide step there. And it looks like the umpire told him he had to take some kind of wristband or something off. So 0-1 the count to Bryson. Long set. Now he comes home. Breaking ball. Strike two call. Pretty pitch. Long lead, the runner goes. Pitch was really close to getting him, and he guns him down at second base. That was a really nice throw by Wyatt Buchanan. Noah Bigby receiving it and applying the tag. So we come back to a 1-2 count. That pitch was high and tight on Bryson. Pulls a string, swing and a miss. And so now there's two away. Fouled off at the plate. Jay Buchanan at the plate for Grace Prep. This is the third baseman. Etheridge kicks and fires and fouled off at the plate once again. The count goes to 0-2. Slow ground ball back to the pitcher. He guns it across, and he gets him. So, in essence, a 1-2-3 inning, although not conventional. We're going to go to the bottom of the first. We'll be back right after this.
You have cancer. Sure wasn't expecting that. Not with these two. But my team at Texas Oncology has been right there for me. They said my family is a huge part of my treatment plan. Well, I'll tell you one thing. Right here is where I want to be. I'll see you in the morning.
Welcome back to Grace Game Day. We're going to the bottom of the first. Grace Prep got the leadoff runner aboard, and then he was caught stealing. Slade Etheridge retired the next two Lions that he faced. Blair Walker is the pitcher for Grace Prep tonight. Grace Prep comes into this game 9-0 in district. They do have their toughest test of district play coming up next week when they play 2 games against Brook Hill. And tonight they're dealing with a Grace Cougar team that's looking for a win as David Wallace steps into the plate. Breaking ball on the outside corner, strike one call. And strike on the outside corner once again, 0-2 quickly to Wallace. Just outside. That pitch had a little bit of tailing action on it, and it just slipped out of the strike zone. The 1-2, ground ball second base side. And it's booted at second base, and Wallace will be aboard.
We'll take it.
Take it however you can get it. Base hit or error? Error. That's what I thought. Yeah, that's what I would call it too. So that brings Wyatt Buchanan. It's 1-0 the count. That's going to bring the count to 2-0. Ground ball to the second baseman. Slow hopper flips to second for one, on to first, not in time. So he gets the lead runner. So now that brings Slade Etheridge to the plate. First pitch to him is way outside, ball one. Etheridge, the starting pitcher for the Cougars tonight. Buchanan takes his lead from first. It's a short lead. That pitch is high and tight. It's 2-0. Got to believe Etheridge probably has a green light all the way through. Hitters count 2-0. Outside corner called strike one, 2-1 the count. As so far in the first 3 pitches, Blair Walker, as he throws over to first, Buchanan back easily. Walker has not really given Slade Etheridge much of anything to hit. And that's going to be fouled off out of play. There was the one right there. 2-2 the count. Walker set. Here's the 2-2. Swing and a miss, but the ball gets away from the catcher all the way back to the wall, and he's just going to have to eat it. So once again, you'll take them however you can get them.
Absolutely.
2 runners aboard. Did they call him out at first base?
I guess they did. I missed it.
I don't know what the reasoning would be for that, but is it because the runner was on first?
What's that?
That they called him out at first? It's because the runner was on first?
Oh, I think that's probably.
I think that is the rule. I just remembered that. If there's a runner already on first base, the batter's automatically out. Okay. So 2 outs, 1 runner on base. And that runner is Emmanuel Sanchez running for the catcher Buchanan. Noah Bigby at the plate. That pitch gets away from him. Sanchez is going. Throw down to third. He's safe. Got in under the tag. Nice job by Sanchez. The throw was there in time. The third baseman.
That was an aggressive run.
It was. And the third baseman did a nice job of picking it, but just Sanchez gets under the tag.
Yeah, just a great slide.
So 1-1 the count. And that's low and away, and that gets away not far enough to prompt Sanchez to run from third. So 2-1 the count to Bigby. Grace is still looking for the first hit, although they do have a runner at third. Low and outside, ball 3. Wallace got aboard on an error that our unofficial score went down as an E4. Buchanan hit into a fielder's choice, and then Slade Etheridge struck out. In the meantime, Sanchez, running for Buchanan, has worked his way around. Generous call on the strike zone on the inside corner there. 3-2, the count goes full. And that's low. Bigby draws the walk.
Good vision and good patience.
So that is going to bring Colton Garrison to the plate. Runners now at the corners with 2 away in the bottom of the first. Grace looking to crack the scoreboard first. Walker fires. Ball 1. Walker seems to be struggling a little bit with command right here. Throws back. Safe. That was a little bit too close for comfort.
That was really close.
The throw was in such a good spot that the throw was hitting the glove, and the glove was on the body of Bigby almost at the same time. And that was very, very close to ending this inning. Garrison swings through one, and the count goes 1-1. Runners at the corners. High and tight, ball 2. Here's the pitch. Ground ball, third base side. Long throw across, and it gets him. So that brings us to the end of the first inning. We're scoreless after one. We'll be back to Grace Game Day right after this.
Looking for a place to belong? At Hope Church, you'll find practical teaching, genuine community, and a fresh start each week. No perfect people required. Whether you're exploring faith or ready for your next step, there's a seat for you in person or online. Come as you are and leave encouraged. Start your week with hope. Visit yourhope.church.
Out. Welcome back to Grace Game Day, as we are now in the top of the second inning. Outside corner. Looks like that's a large outside corner there. This is Bear Graves, the catcher, at the plate. Just inside, ball one. Evens the count, 1-1. Nice over-the-top motion there. Drops it in for a strike. 1-2. Here's the 1-2. Fouled off at the plate. So Graves stays alive and hangs in there. And they'll swap that baseball out for another one. Graves is back in. Beautiful evening for baseball here on the Grace Upper Campus. Etheridge kicks and fires just high, ball two. And he just gets the end of the bat to that ball. We'll come back and do 2-2 again. Laced into left field, but right at Stinson. He only had to take a step or two, and he puts it away. Brings up the first baseman, Colt Howard. High and tight bends Howard out of the way, 1-0. That one's fouled over the screen. Back into the piney trees of East Texas, where someone can go chase that baseball down and they might find poison ivy, poison oak, a snake, or a bear. You just never know. Outside ball two. So Howard works ahead 1-2 on this one. Really nice comeback pitch there from Etheridge. He bends a breaking ball right over the outside corner. Strike 2 call. Here's the 2-2. High into center field. Burgess ranges back. He's there, and he's got it. And now there's 2 away. So 2 fly ball outs in this inning, and that's going to bring the Grace Prep pitcher, Blair Walker, to the plate. He bats from the left-handed side. And I'm not sure where that one missed, but it's 1-0.
Yeah, that one looked really good to me.
High and deep into center field. Burgess back. He's there, and he's got it. So 1, 2, 3 go the Lions in the top of the second. We're going to the bottom of the second. We're still scoreless. We'll be back right after this.
Need a boost before school? Or a sweet treat to celebrate the big game or a great grade on a test? Brewed fresh, poured bold. Lattes, cold brew, espresso, and more. 2 legendary names, 1 sweet shop. Bluebell plus Tillamook equals scoop and grind magic. More than a shop, it's your local hangout. Great coffee, amazing ice cream, even better company. Win or lose, celebrate with a scoop. Game days taste better at Scoop and Grind. Stop by Scoop and Grind today. Located on Highway 64, just 3 miles from the Grace Upper Campus.
I'll see you soon at Scoop and Grind.
Welcome back to Grace Game Day. I'm Preston Proctor. With me is Josh McElhaney. We've played an inning and a half. Still no score. Caleb Burgess will lead off this inning. Burgess shows bunt and fouls it off at the plate. Blair Walker on the mound for the Lions. And even though the Cougars did not score, he labored a little bit in that first inning.
Yeah, threw a lot of pitches.
Yeah, he did. It was not an easy inning for him. And so we'll see how this unfolds as this game continues. 0-1 to Burgess. Walker kicks and deals outside. Evens the count at 1-1. Outside again, so now 2-1. Burgess ahead in the count. Line drive into left field, falling, and it's a hit. So Burgess leads off the bottom of the second with a base hit. That brings up Hunter Lopez, the designated hitter. Burgess is going. Bunt attempt is not there. Catcher drops the ball, and Burgess is going to have a stolen base.
Good job. I think the speed of Burgess taking off so quick caused that catcher to kind of go into a little bit of a rushed attempt to get that ball up and just unable to get his hand on it.
I think you're right, and I think also Burgess got such a great jump on that. I think even if it was a clean exchange for the catcher, I think he's safe no matter what. He got a brilliant jump on that pitch. So 1-0 the count. Burgess now in scoring position at second base. Here's the pitch. In the dirt, ball 2. So, once again, Walker kind of just laboring a little bit, it looks like. He does a little dirt work on the front end of the mound. And now it's come set. Lopez shows bunt, pops it up over our heads, and out of play. And that goes to show you that if you get it on the right spot on the barrel, the ball will just jump off a bat. It's not about how hard you swing. It's about just getting it to connect with the right spot on the barrel. 2-1 the count. Fouled off, out of play. It evens the count at 2-2. I want to say thank you for tuning in to Grace Game Day tonight. It's our pleasure to bring you Grace Cougars baseball action. 2-2 to Lopez. Burgess takes his lead from second. Walker with a long look at second. Now he comes home. Breaking ball, strike 3 call. He froze Lopez on that pitch. So now Sam Bentley comes up. Burgess still waiting patiently on second base. Fouls it straight back over our heads, 0-1. Jay Buchanan, the third baseman for Grace Prep, is playing very much in. He's on the infield grass. Ground ball, shortstop side, ranging toward the middle. He's there, throws across, and gets him. Bentley is out, but he does move the runner across to third base. And so now for the second straight inning, the Cougars have a runner at third. Ethan Burton at the plate. Strike call on the outside corner. Strike call. 0-2 the count. Burton steps back in. Here's the 0-2. Ground ball, foul, third base side. And almost a really nice play over there by Coach Johnston. Fouled off again. Burton fighting and staying alive at the plate. Here's the 0-2. In the dirt outside. The catcher does a nice job of blocking that and keeping it in front of him.
Yeah, because Burgess was ready
Burgess
to go.
had his foot on the gas. He was ready to run. That's Bear Graves became the wall behind the plate. 1-2. And that just misses the strike zone. That's one of those you're not sure if it's a gutsy take or an accidental take, but he took it, and it's a ball. Here's the 2-2. High, ball 3. The count's run full.
Way to battle back.
Burgess at third. 2 outs, bottom of the second. 3-2. The payoff pitch. And he struck him out looking on the outside corner. That was, like I mentioned earlier, I think that outside corner is big.
Yeah.
So, oh, man. So we're headed to the third inning, still scoreless. We'll be back to Grace Game Day right after this.
You have cancer. Sure wasn't expecting that. Not with these two. But my team at Texas Oncology has been right there for me. They said my family is a huge part of my treatment plan. Well, I'll tell you one thing. Right here is where I want to be. I'll see you in the morning.
Welcome back to Grace Game Day. I'm Preston Proctor, with me Josh McElhaney. We are in the top of the third inning. Still scoreless. Both innings that Grace has come to the plate, they have got a runner to third base, and both innings they were unable to get him to home.
That net is just not cooperating with this camera.
No, it doesn't. That net does not like our camera.
It will not focus on Etheridge. It's focusing on the net.
It would probably help if the net didn't have all of that. Is that moss or is that moss? Fungi, something. Yeah, it's all over the place. Designated hitter Heath Speck leading off for the Lions. Etheridge delivers. Strike call. Starts him off with a fastball. Here's the 0-1. And that's a 1-1 count now. That pitch looked really good from my little bird's eye view here. Line to Bentley. Gets by him. That was on him quick. Stinson gets over and gets it back into second base to hold it to a single. So Speck leads off with a base hit. It is just the second hit of the game for Grace Prep. They led off the game with a base hit. And then 5 straight batters were retired. Now Speck gets aboard with a base hit to left field. That brings up Carter Smith, the left fielder. Shows bunt, pulls it back, strike call on the inside corner. Shows bunt again, pulls it back. That pitch gets passed to the wall. The throw down to second. He's safe. So 1-1 the count now. Runner on second base. Showing bunt again early. Pulls it back and looks at strike 2. Etheridge is set. Check of second. Checks again. Checks a third time. And here he comes. Inside corner, strike 3 call. He delayed that call. I was waiting on it. That was right on the corner.
I think he delayed it for the emphasis.
So Carter Smith goes down on strikes. That's the second strikeout for Etheridge tonight. Brings up Landon Jones, second baseman for the Lions. Strike call. A little bit of flame throwing right down the middle there. Here's the 0-1. Ground ball, shortstop side. Wallace is there. Guns across. Burton had to stretch, not able to get it. Here comes the runner for the plate. And he scores from second. And Grace Prep takes a 1-0 lead. So now back to the top of the order. Banks Harris, the shortstop. 1 on, 1 out. He's showing bunt. Pulls back, strike call. Quick throw over. That was one of those I've got my eye on you kind of throws. He looked at him for a good solid second and a half and then threw it. Runner's going. Throw down to second. Gets into center field. One and one the count. 1 on. 1 out. 1-0 the score. 1 and 1 the count. Swing and a miss. Pulled a string on that one. It's 1 and 2. Harris is 1 for 1 in this game. He led the game off with a base hit. Ground ball. Wallace has it go off his glove and into center field. And they're going to hold the runner up at third. So it'll be runners at the corners.
Several miscues by the Cougars has put them in this position.
Brings up Jackson Bryson. He was the first strikeout victim of Etheridge in this game. And Etheridge could use a strikeout right now. Way outside, ball 1. Runners at the corners. The 1-0. And he hit him. So now the bases are loaded. Third baseman Jay Buchanan coming up. He's 0 for 1. And we're going to get a visit to the mound. And we'll take a moment here to thank a couple of our sponsors. Big thank you to Harley's. Harley's, great place for men to get some clothing. They've got all kinds of stuff. Really, really nice stuff. So if you wanna get dressed up for really any occasion, go see the group over there at Harley's. They are next to Dakota Steakhouse behind Broadway Square Mall. And we thank them for sponsoring Grace Game Day this year. Also, Biomax Spray Foam Insulation. Big supporters of Grace Community, big supporters of just Tyler in general, supporters of KVNE, just great, great people. If you have any kind of insulation needs, go talk to the people over there at Biomax Spray Foam Insulation. Thank you for your support. So it's only the top of the third, but you got to feel like this is a big moment in this game. Bases loaded, 1 out. It's 1-0 already, and really the Cougars have just gifted that 1 run. And that's lined into the gap in right center for a hit. 1 run is home. Here comes the second runner across the plate. And it's now 3-0. Runners at the corners, still only 1 out. Brings up the catcher, Bear Graves, 0 for 1. Quick throw over to first. He's back easily. And that breeze that just kicked in feels really, really good right now.
Yes, it does.
Etheridge comes home. I was ready to say strike, and the umpire didn't agree with me, so 1-0 the count. That looked like a really nice breaking ball in the inside corner.
Yeah, I didn't see.
Runner goes from first, the throw down, and it goes into center field, so we're going to have another run come across the plate. And Buchanan motors in at third.
And it's been the miscues here in this third inning.
Been very costly. A generous call on the outside corner. Makes me feel better about the one he called on us earlier. not a lot better, but a little bit. 1-1. 1 out. High and inside ball 2. Ground ball foul. Third base side. Graves steps back in. 2-2 the count. The pitch. Grounded right at Bentley. Oh, man, another one that just on him so fast. Gets into left field. Another run scores. It's an RBI base hit for Bear Graves, and Bentley is putting on a show over there, the absolute definition of hot corner.
Yeah.
Those are getting on him in a hurry. I ain't gonna lie, I'd be running for cover. I'll just tell you that right now. Yeah, when those are coming at you down there at the exit velocity that they're coming at you with, and then on top of that, there's movement on them with the rotation of the ball.
Yeah,
and it's coming in, and it's literally coming in about ankle high, if that high, and that's just. I mean, we'd be playing the ESPN. We'd be playing the ESPN stuff if he was making those plays, because those are tough plays to make. We got a pitching change here, as Sam Bentley, who we were just talking about, Sam Bentley coming in to pitch for the Cougars. And so we're going to take a break, and we'll be back to Grace Game Day right after this.
Looking for a place to belong? At Hope Church, you'll find practical teaching, genuine community, and a fresh start each week. No perfect people required. Whether you're exploring faith or ready for your next step, there's a seat for you in person or online. Come as you are and leave encouraged. Start your week with hope. Visit yourhope.church.
Bentley on the mound now for the Cougars. First baseman Colt Howard stepping into the plate. He's 0 for 1 so far in the game. First pitch to him is a strike.
There you go.
And here comes the umpire. Going to tell him he needs to take the stuff off his wrist. Runner goes. Throw down to second, gets into center field. Burgess is there to back everything up. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
1-1 the count. Grounded right to Etheridge at third, bobbles it a little bit, looks the runner back, throws across. And there's now 2 away. So that brings Blair Walker to the mound, or to the plate. Blair Walker is the pitcher. High and outside, ball 1. Blair Walker is a junior for Grace Prep. He pitches right-handed and bats from the left-hand side. High and outside, 2-0. Got to wonder, is that the Shohei Ohtani effect, where you pitch right-handed and bat left-handed? Which, not a pitcher, but high ball 3. One of the players that we watch closely. He's one of my 6-year-old's favorite players, Corey Seager. Corey Seager plays shortstop. He throws throws right-handed, bats left-handed. And that's high and outside, ball 4, so he takes a walk. Runners at first and second. So now designated hitter Heath Speck, 1 for 1 with a base hit in this game. That's a first pitch strike.
There you go.
0-1 the count.
Just need to get out of this inning and regroup.
Popped up. Shallow right field. Coming on is Garrison. He makes the catch, and that retires the side. But a lot of damage done in the top of the third. 5 runs scored. And so here we go, going to the bottom of the third. We'll be back to Grace Game Day right after this.
You have cancer. Sure wasn't expecting that. Not with these two. But my team at Texas Oncology has been right there for me. They said my family is a huge part of my treatment plan. Well, I'll tell you one thing. Right here is where I want to be. I'll see you in the morning.
Welcome back to Grace Game Day. I'm Preston Proctor. With me, Josh McElhaney. Grace Prep plated 5 runners in the top of the third. And so now Grace comes to bat in the bottom of the third, finding themselves down 5-0. I want to say thank you to a couple more sponsors. A big thank you to Monette Taylor, the local All-State agent. Her office is in White House, Texas on Highway 110. I want to say a big thank you to her for being a supporter of Grace Game Day. And also to Joel Adams, Joel Adams, of course, his family is part of the Grace community. Joel is one of the really, he is the man of investment banking at Southside Bank. And so we are so grateful to them for their support. So back to the top of the order now. David Wallace leading off in the bottom of the third. And he reached base in his first at bat by virtue of an error on the second baseman. First pitch to him misses, ball one. Down the right field line, tailing, caught as he's approaching the line. So one away. It's Carter Smith. Excuse me, not Carter Smith. My apologies. It's Carson Lednicki. That pitch is in the dirt. Ball one to Buchanan. Buchanan reached in the first inning on a fielder's choice. Ground ball, second base side. A flip across to first. And Buchanan is out. And so 4 pitches. And there's 2 outs in the bottom of the third.
Yeah, they've done a good job most of the game of making him work. And this inning, he's not exerting much energy.
Slade Etheridge was a strikeout victim in the first. Low, ball one. Yeah, Josh, you're exactly right. Blair Walker had to throw a lot of pitches in the first and second inning. A lot of stressful moments, and runners on base, runners getting to third base, and able to get out of it without giving up any runs, but still some high-intensity baseball nonetheless, as that is just outside ball 2. But so far, 2 up, 2 down quickly here in the bottom of the third. Etheridge at the plate. Lines one into left field, a base hit.
Good shot.
Solid contact on that one. And that brings up Noah Bigby. He drew a walk in his first at bat. Already 2 outs in the inning, but you'd really like to see Grace, if they could even just get 1 run in this inning.
Yeah, just to get a little bit of momentum, a little good feeling.
Strike call on the outside corner. That one's low. 1-1 the count. So Walker does a little work on the mound again. Etheridge goes, pitch is taken, throw down to second, and he's out. And so that is going to end the inning, and Noah Bigby will lead off in the bottom of the fourth, since the out that ends the inning occurred on the base path. But we're headed to the fourth. Grace Prep 5, Grace 0. We'll be back right after this.
Need a boost before school? Or a sweet treat to celebrate the big game or a great grade on a test? Brewed fresh, poured bold. Lattes, cold brew, espresso, and more. 2 legendary names, 1 sweet shop. Bluebell plus Tillamook equals scoop and grind magic. More than a shop, it's your local hangout. Great coffee, amazing ice cream, even better company. Win or lose, celebrate with a scoop. Game days taste better at Scoop and Grind. Stop by Scoop and Grind today. Located on Highway 64, just 3 miles from the Grace Upper Campus.
I'll I'll see you soon at Scoop and Grind.
Welcome back to Grace Game Day. We are through 3 innings. And it is Grace Prep up 5-0 over the Grace Cougars. I want to say a big thank you to Scoop and Grind for being a sponsor of Grace Game Day. Scoop and Grind is located just a couple of miles away from the Grace Upper Campus. Go to Chapel Hill, turn left at the light, and you'll see Scoop and Grind on the left-hand side. And if you go in and tell them, hey, I heard about you on Grace Game Day, and they told me I'd get 10% off of my order, they'll honor that, and they'll give it to you. And so go in and support them. We appreciate their support of Grace Game Day. Bentley remains on the mound for the Cougars as we start the 4th inning. And so now Carter Smith, the left fielder, comes into the plate. He is 0 for 1. He's a strikeout victim in his first at bat. Bentley delivers. Strike call to start him off. 0 and 1. Outside evens the count at 1 and 1. Breaking ball gets away from Buchanan. 2 and 1 the count. Inside, count goes to 3 and 1. Smith almost wore that one. Nice pitch. Smith was way out in front of that one as Bentley pulled a string on it. So the count goes full, 3 and 2. Here's the payoff pitch. Fouled off, out of play. Once again, the 3-2. High ball 4. That brings up Landon Jones, the second baseman. He reached on an error in what turned out to be a very costly 3rd inning. Runner goes, throw down to second, and it is in time. He's out. High and outside, 2 and 0. 1 away here in the top of the 4th. Now 3 and 0. And he walks him. And here comes Coach Johnston. And we've got a pitching change here at the Grace Upper Campus. We'll be back to Grace Game Day right after this.
In the heart of White House, there's a place where hope resides. Welcome to Hope Church, where the embrace of hope transforms lives. We are more than a church. We are a refuge of compassion, a haven of strength, and a beacon of light. At Hope Church, you'll discover a community that's here for you. Join us in the journey of hope, where every story matters. Your place of hope, right here, right now.
Welcome back to Grace Game Day. Emmanuel Sanchez now on the mound for the Cougars. I want to say thank you to East Texas Nutrition for being a Grace Game Day sponsor. It is a great place to get the loaded energy teas, protein shakes, protein bites, just all kinds of good stuff there, and great people there as well. Go by and see them and let them know you heard about them on Grace Game Day and that you appreciate their support in bringing you Grace Cougar athletics. So now Banks Harris, leadoff batter. Low and inside, ball one. Sanchez inherits one base runner at first. Jones draws a throw over. He dives back in safely. There goes the runner. Pitch is low. Throw down to second, and he is safe.
Buchanan going to have just as sore an arm as these pitchers.
I'm telling you.
As many times he's had to throw to second.
Strike call. Brings the count to 2-1. Banks Harris, the shortstop for Grace Prep. He had a base hit to lead off the game, and then he reached on an error in his second at bat. That pitch is low, ball 3. So now 3-1 the count. Strike call on the outside corner. The count goes full. Jones takes his lead from second. Sanchez takes a look and comes home with the payoff pitch. Strike 3 call on the outside corner. And Banks Harris had a look of disbelief on his face, but I've got news for him. That call's been there all night long.
Yeah, that's been a very consistent call. Both ways.
So now Jackson Bryson, the center fielder, he struck out in his first at bat, and then he was hit by the pitch in his second at bat. That's low, ball 1. Strike call. One and one the count as Bryson steps back in. 2 away, runner on second. Grace wanting to strand him there. And Bryson just about wore his second one of the night. 2-1 the count. Bryson calls time at the plate. Plate umpire awards it. A little bit of adjustment of the batting gloves. And now he steps back in. Just outside. Ball 3. We were just telling him how that's been a consistent strike call all night. That might have been a little further out than the others, though. 3-1. And it is a cue ball down the first baseline. And Burton steps on the bag, and the side is retired. No runs. They leave a runner on second. We're headed to the 5th inning with Grace trailing by the score of 5-0. We'll be back right after.
Need a boost before school? Or a sweet treat to celebrate the big game or a great grade on a test? Brewed fresh, poured bold. Lattes, cold brew, espresso, and more. 2 legendary names, 1 sweet shop. Bluebell plus Tillamook equals scoop and grind magic. More than a shop, it's your local hangout. Great coffee, amazing ice cream, even better company. Win or lose, celebrate with a scoop. Game days taste better at Scoop and Grind. Stop by Scoop and Grind today. Located on Highway 64, just 3 miles from the Grace Upper Campus.
I'll see you soon at Scoop and Grind.
Welcome back to Grace Game Day. As we get ready for the bottom of the 4th inning, Blair Walker still on the mound for Grace Prep. And Bigby will lead off. Bigby was at the plate in the bottom of the 3rd when Slade Etheridge was thrown out in an attempt to steal second base. And so now Bigby will come back to the plate and lead off the bottom of the 4th. So it's Bigby, Garrison, and Burgess due up for the Cougars. As Grace is looking to find a way to get back into this baseball game after really it came down to one bad inning with several mistakes and just some generous play from the Cougars that allowed Grace Prep to plate 5 runs in the top of the 3rd. And that's where we stand. It's a 5-0 ball game as Bigby steps in to lead off the bottom of the 4th. Walker deals. Strike call. Bigby back in the box. Low and outside, gets away from the catcher, evens the count at 1-1. Bigby drew a walk in his first at bat. Ground ball, third base side. Walker has to charge, bare hand and throw, and he got him. And so Bigby is retired. Nice play there by Blair Walker. Colton Garrison looks at strike one. 0-1 the count. He's 0 for 1 in this game. Fouled over the screen, out of play. Goes to 0-2 as Burgess waits on deck. Check swing, strike 3 call. That was a breaking ball that broke right over the strike zone. And so there are 2 away. Caleb Burgess steps in. He's 1 for 1 with a base hit. That's way outside, ball 1.
Yeah, that one just didn't have control coming out of his hand.
There's a strike called. Fastball.
Comes right back and said, I'll show you control.
Here's the 1-1. Low and away, ball 2. Walker works quickly on the mound.
He does, I've noticed. Not a lot of time in between pitches.
Fouled off. Left-hand side into the woods. 2-2. Low and away, and the count goes full to Burgess. Lines that toward the third base dugout. Which reminds me, they got the net in front of these. I don't know if you saw it, Josh, but one of the managers for, I want to say it was the Pittsburgh Pirates, but I'm not sure. One of the major league teams. He took a line drive off the jaw as Burgess draws a walk. Just a couple of days ago. Took a line drive off the jaw, and it broke, I think it said it broke his jaw, and it broke, cracked several places in his orbital area.
Ugh.
But he was doing the press conference after the game, so.
Baseball guy.
Hunter Lopez in. Ground ball, second base side. Scoops. He missed it.
A little casual with that scoop.
Landon Jones not able to get that ball. And now Burgess was bearing down fast on second base, and I think that's where Jones wanted to go. And Burgess' hustle was making that play pretty close, so it might have been the hurry up there that caused him to not field it cleanly. But either way, we got 2-1 with 2 outs. Sanchez at the plate. That ball's way outside, ball 1.
Yeah, I think you're right about just how quickly Burgess was getting there. He kind of nonchalantly went after it, expecting an easy routine throw to, or toss rather, to second. The speed caused him to have to hurry up and just unable to get his hand on it.
So after missing on that pitch and going to a 2-0 count, Grace Prep is going to have a meeting on the mound. And Walker will stay in the game. Two and 0 the count. Runners at first and second. And Sanchez at the plate. This is a moment where Grace really needs to get somebody across the plate.
Yeah, just any kind of momentum would go a long way.
2-0 the count. Low and away, ball 3. The 3-0. Inside ball 4. The bases are loaded. So now Ethan Burton at the plate, bases loaded, 2 outs. First pitch to him, strike right down the middle. The 0-1. Strike call on the outside corner, 0-2 the count to Burton. Here's the pitch. Strike 3 call on the outside corner. And so Grace is going to leave him loaded. We're headed to the 5th. 5-0 Grace Prep. We'll be back right after this.
You have cancer. Sure wasn't expecting that. Not with these two. But my team at Texas Oncology has been right there for me. They said my family is a huge part of my treatment plan. Well, I'll tell you one thing. Right here is where I want to be. I'll see you in the morning.
Welcome back to Grace Game Day. We are starting the 5th inning of play. And it is 5-0 Grace Prep. All in one really rough inning of play for the Cougars. Other than that, they've played neck and neck. But it is that one mistake-riddled 3rd inning that right now is the difference in this game. Still time to get back in it. Jay Buchanan steps in. He is 1 for 1 with 1 RBI. And he goes first pitch swinging, popped up into shallow right field. Bigby was going out, Garrison coming in. Garrison called him off and puts it away. So Bear Graves comes to the plate. Bear Graves is also 1 for 2 with an RBI tonight. And he grounds one through the hole on the right side into right field, a base hit. So first pitch swinging. And I was mistaken on Jay Buchanan, who just popped out to Garrison in shallow right field. He has 2 RBIs on the night. Colt Howard, the first baseman, 0 for 2 tonight. First pitch to him, breaking ball, catches the corner, 0-1. Beautiful pitch from Sanchez. Lines a shot into left. Which now brings Blair Walker to the plate. Oh for 1 with 1 walk tonight. High and tight on the first pitch. 1-0. High, ball 2. Turns back to second, nobody there. Here's the 2-0. And he fouls it off of, I believe, his leg.
Yeah, that hurts.
So the umpire will walk out to the mound and give Walker a moment. So now everybody's returning to their posts. And Blair Walker is getting ready to step back into the plate. Adjusts the shin guard on his right leg. Here's the 2-1. And he fouls that one into the screen. Evens the count at 2-2. So runners at first and second, one away in the inning. And a 2-ball, 2-strike count to Blair Walker. And he gets a charge in that one. Foul to right field. That landed on the concourse level. The pitch lined into left center over the outstretched glove of Wallace, a base hit. And the runners will all move up one base. And so now the bases are loaded. As designated hitter Heath Speck steps in. He's 1 for 1. Actually, I'm sorry, he's had 2 at-bats, but I don't remember. I missed it making a note what happened in his second at-bat, but I do know he got a base hit in his first at-bat. So, first pitch to him, and he pops it up. And running out of room. Oh, and 1 the count. Speck at the dish. There's nowhere to put him. The bases are loaded. Breaking ball stays high. 1-1 the count. And once again, stays high. 2-1. Low ball 3, so it's a 3-1 count. And you don't want to walk in a run here. The 3-1. You know, sometimes you do what you don't want to do.
Yep.
6-0 now. Carter Smith, 0 for 1 with a walk tonight. strike zone is shrinking here in this top of the fifth. That ball four to the previous batter was right in that vicinity of pitches that he's called a strike all night long. In the dirt, ball two. Strike call on the inside corner, 2-1 the count. Walker and Speck getting large leads from second and first, respectively. Grounded to second base. Bigby flips to second for one, on to first, not in time. So a run scores, making it 7-0. Runners at the corners, 2 away. Landon Jones at the plate. One and 0 the count. And he thought about it for a little bit and decided that was a strike.
And that one was generous.
He's called some a ball that were closer. Fouled off out of play. One and 2 the count. Sanchez trying to limit the damage and get out of this inning with only 2 runs coming across. Runner goes high and outside, and he thought about throwing, decided to try to pull it back, and it ended up slipping out of his hand, and the runner scores from third. 2-2 the count to Jones. That's one you kind of want to just eat that one. The runner from first got a really good jump.
Yeah.
You got a runner at third, and I think he was thinking about that as he was going into his throwing motion. Swing and a miss, strike 3. And so that retires the side. We're headed to the bottom of the fifth. Grace Prep 8, Grace 0. We'll be back to Grace Game Day right after this.
Looking for a place to belong? At Hope Church, you'll find practical teaching, genuine community, and a fresh start each week. No perfect people required. Whether you're exploring faith or ready for your next step, there's a seat for you in person or online. Come as you are and leave encouraged. Start your week with hope. Visit yourhope.church.
Welcome back to Grace Game Day. I'm Preston Proctor. With me, Josh McElhaney. 8-0 is our score. And it's been a tough night for the Cougars. There's been a lot of runners left on base for the Cougars. And then that very, very critical third inning that was just proving to be very, very costly.
Yeah, just a lot of little mistakes that just keep adding up. Even there in the top of the fifth, runner scoring with just miscues.
Top of the order, shortstop David Wallace reached on an error in his first at bat. He pops that one right up toward the shortstop. And one pitch, Banks Harris puts that one away. 1 out. It brings up Wyatt Buchanan. And he hits one into center field. Ranging back as a center fielder, he's there. Jackson Bryson makes the catch. 2 pitches, 2 outs. So the first couple of innings were a lot of pitches and a lot of laboring for Blair Walker. The last couple innings, not so much.
No, he settled in, and pitch count has gone way under.
Here's Slade Etheridge, first pitch to him. Strike call, 0-1. It's where you almost want to just take one so he doesn't have a 3-pitch inning.
Right.
Low and away, ball 1. Swing and a miss. Etheridge was swinging for the parking lot. Here's the 1-2. And swing and a miss, strike 3. And so a quick 1-2-3 inning for the Cougars. And we're headed to the 6th. 8-0. Grace Prep. We'll be back right after this.
Looking for a place to belong? At Hope Church, you'll find practical teaching, genuine community, and a fresh start each week. No perfect people required. Whether you're exploring faith or ready for your next step, there's a seat for you in person or online. Come as you are and leave encouraged. Start your week with hope. Visit yourhope.church.
Welcome back to Grace Game Day. I'm Preston Proctor, with me Josh McElhaney as we begin the top of the 6th inning. Grace trailing 8-0. Banks Harris leading off. And Colton Garrison now on the mound for the Cougars. Ground ball left-hand side. Bentley ranges, makes the throw, and it goes off the net in front of the Cougars' dugout. That ball was so slow hit, I don't know that the throw would have got him either way. So we got a runner aboard at first. And now Jackson Bryson coming to the plate. Inside, ball 1. Quick throw over. Harris is back standing. And throws that one behind him, 2-0. As Bryson ducks out of the way. And I believe we had a balk call. So we're going to have a 2-0 count again. Now the runner is at second base. Strike call, 2-1 the count. Here's the 2-1. And he ducks out of the way of that one. So 3-1 the count. Fly ball, shallow center field. Burgess. Oh, and Burgess makes the catch.
Wow.
As there was nearly a collision. A minor collision did take place. Thankful it wasn't any worse than that.
That whole time I was like, please see each other. Please see each other.
Yeah, somebody talk. Somebody talk.
And in a game full of miscues, very fortunate that time not to have another one.
Here's the pitch. Way outside, ball 1. Jay Buchanan inside, ball 2. Way outside, ball 3. Counts 3-0. That shallow fly ball, it was hit very high, and it was tailing away from the center fielder Burgess. And what looked like it was going to be just very, very routine in shallow center field, he ended up having to range very deep into right, or not deep as in away from the plate, but deep ranging over into right center field, as that misses ball 4. And so now there's 2 aboard with 1 away. But Burgess stayed with it, tracked it down, and made the catch. Bear Graves, the catcher, comes to the plate, and that throw goes over his head. He gets away from Burton, who is now behind the plate. So everybody moves up. Runners at second and third. As the nature of East Texas is beginning to come out in full force.
Oh, no.
That pitch is low. And I'm just sweet enough that these mosquitoes will
That's what it
love
is.
me. That's absolutely the case. Lined into left field, tailing away from Stinson and by him all the way to the wall. 1 run scores. Another run comes across the plate. And Graves is in with a double. And it's 10-0 Grace Prep.
Yep, and this is starting to get away from him.
Colt Howard comes to the plate, 1 for 3. Strike call on the inside corner. 0-1 the count, 1 away. A lone runner Graves at second base. And that's behind him, goes to the screen. So Graves will jog down to third base. One and one the count. Ground ball to Wallace at short, and it just eats him up and skips into center field. So the runner scores from third. And Howard is aboard at first. Blair Walker comes to the plate. Lines one to second, and it gets underneath the glove of Etheridge.
Yep,
And
just now it's gotten contagious. Just one of those nights where, yep.
Story of the game tonight. It's just been really, really tough as now Carson Ledniski comes to the plate. Still one away, 2 aboard for the Lions. Outside ball 1, and at this point, and you don't even want to really admit this, but at this point, the Cougars just look like they're really not even interested in being out there, and you can't really blame them. It's just this has been a very tough night.
It's one thing to have a game where the other team is just on a roll and scoring runs in bunches and really hitting the ball well. It's another thing entirely when everything that can go wrong has gone wrong, and you've contributed quite a few runs to that scoreboard.
Right.
And now the bats are starting to flow.
Strike call on the outside corner. One and two the count. Grounded off the shoe of Garrison. And everybody is safe.
That hurts.
Yeah, you could hear the thud of that one. As Coach Johnston's going to come out. Garrison will stay on the mound.
Yeah. Glad to see he's okay. Give him a second to regain feeling in that foot.
Left fielder Carter Smith stepping into the plate.
So dangerous place to be here. 1 out, bases loaded.
Bases loaded, one away. Here's the pitch. Outside, goes all the way to the screen, but it bounces halfway back to the plate, so nobody moves. The 1-0. And he fouls that off his foot. 1-1 the count. Bases loaded, one out. 1 ball, 1 strike. Garrison comes home. Outside corner. Strike 2.
I'll take that one.
Yep. 1-2 to Smith. High chopping ground ball, left base or left hand side, and everybody is safe.
Wow.
And so this is just baseball IQ. Blair Walker slowed up to stay in front of that ball as long as he could and just make the play that much tougher. The pitch from Garrison gets by Burton. Nobody moves. 1-0 the count. Two and 0. Ground ball left-hand side. Deep in the hole, Wallace not able to field it cleanly, and everybody's going to be safe.
Just nothing going right now.
Well, one thing that I've noticed is that the grass is so thick here, infield and outfield, that once the ball hits the grass, there's not much speed. Ground ball right back to the pitcher. Comes home for 1. Throw to first, and got him. Double play
Good
to
job.
end the inning. So we're headed to the bottom of the 6th. 13-0, Grace Prep leading. And we'll be back to Grace Game Day right after this.
You have cancer. Sure wasn't expecting that. Not with these two. But my team at Texas Oncology has been right there for me. They said my family is a huge part of my treatment plan. Well, I'll tell you one thing. Right here is where I want to be. I'll see you in the morning.
Welcome back to Grace Game Day. I'm Preston Proctor. With me, Josh McElhaney. Blair Walker's night is done, on the mound at least. He goes to shortstop, and shortstop Banks Harris comes to pitch. Really nice night for Blair Walker. 5 innings of shutout baseball. 1-0 count. Now 2-0. Bigby leading off. Strike call. 2-1 the count. That's way outside. Ball 3. 3-1 the count. Swing and a miss by Bigby. Count goes full. 3-2. Ball 4. So a leadoff walk to start the inning. Brings up Colton Garrison. Strike call. Throw over to check on Bigby. He dives back in safely.
You know the mosquitoes are bad when you can see them flying around in front of the camera.
Low and away, evens the count at 1-1. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. Bigby's back. Hit into left center field. And there's one away. So now that brings Burgess to the plate. Lines one through the hole and into left field for a base hit. So now that brings Hunter Lopez to the plate. Two on and one out. Bigby at second. Burgess at first. Strike call on the outside corner. Swings through that one, goes to an 0-2 count. That ball's low. 1-2 the count. I've never felt more like a mosquito magnet in my life.
I know it. It's like a swarm of plague up here.
1-2. Harris delivers. Ground ball right back to the mound, off his glove. Throw to first. He gets Lopez at first. And so now Grace will have runners at second and third with 2 outs, and Sam Bentley coming to the plate. Bentley steps into the box. Ground ball, third base side, charging, throws on the run and gets him. And that'll do it. So your final score tonight is Grace Prep 13 and your Grace Cougars 0. I want to thank you for tuning in to Grace Game Day tonight, as it was a beautiful evening until the mosquitoes really kind of started taking over. And still a beautiful evening temperature-wise, but we just got too many friends hanging out up here with us.
Yeah, a little crowded.
We like Mr. Bentley. It's fun having him up here, but we've got a lot of friends up here flying around, and we don't want them. So, but thanks for tuning in tonight, and we'll be bringing you action next week as baseball and softball are getting ready to have their senior nights. So we'll be trying to get that sorted out and bring that to you. But thank you for tuning in to Grace Game Day tonight. Until next week, so long, everybody.